Hey, we've been traveling and doing music for a long time, and we thought we need to share some of these stories before we forget them. So we are having a new series called Tour Stories.
Tour Stories.
Tour Stories.
Tour Story. One of the biggest tours we've ever been on is with a fellow Okie named Carrie Underwood. Actually, I have a story that happened before we ever went on tour, before she even won American Idol.
Like college days? Like what?
We did go to college together. We grew up about 15 minutes apart in Oklahoma and had some classes together. And this story actually involves you. You don't know where I'm going with it, do you?
No, I thought we were talking about...
We're diving right in.
Okay.
Do you remember when you pooped in a sack and left it in my truck when I was in college? There's a story behind this. Y'all ready for it? Here we go. So, I was in college. I had a rent house with some roommates, and my brother, who was still barely in high school.
I was not in high school.
You weren't in high school?
No, I think I was 8th
You
grade.
definitely weren't driving, because I think you rode with me to my place. And
I just don't know how necessary this story is.
I think it's very necessary.
Okay.
I think if we're gonna do this, we gotta lay it all out there.
All right.
My brother was very vain at this point in his life. He was junior high probably, and he could not drive. So he relied on everyone to drive him. Tell me when I'm wrong. He would not leave the house unless every hair on his head was perfect.
Oh, come on.
And
that is not true.
that is true. So many hours in the mirror, and he would always squint his eyes. He'd make this face for some reason.
That's not true. Tell the
been-
story. If you're going to tell the story, tell the story. What
He
matters?
comes and he spends the night with me. At this time in my life, I worked the mall there at Hibbett Sports. So he spends the night with me, him and a friend, and my brother has a bad case of IBS, to put it lightly.
That day I did.
He had to go so bad. I drove him home. On the way home, he had to go. I was running late for work. It was a hot day in Oklahoma. I said, look, man, I got to go into work. Just come in the mall and use the bathroom. He would not do it because...
No, the thing is, I don't even think I had shoes.
Really? You came to my house without shoes?
That was
I
the
remember
reason.
this like it was yesterday because he didn't want people to see him not pretty. He petitioned for me to stop at a gas station instead of him going to use the restroom in the mall. I didn't have time. I said, you either go in the mall or you wait on mom to come get you and she can take you somewhere. At the time, I was dating this girl and I had bought her some kind of gift from Bath and Body Works, and the sack was still in my truck. In broad daylight, by my little white S10, instead of going into the mall because his hair was messed up, that is the reason.
It's not.
That is the reason. His hair wasn't perfect, so he didn't want to go in the mall. He opened the door and he pooped in this sack. And then he didn't put it in the back of the truck. He didn't put it in the garbage. He left it inside my truck to cook all day during my shift.
I didn't give a shift.
When I got off work, I came out to find the stinkiest surprise in my truck.
I had fled the scene.
You fled the bag. You flooded the bag.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing.
I don't think you know how to use fled.
So you're probably asking yourself, where does Carrie Underwood fit into all this? Well, as I said, we were in college together and we had a nighttime class, and I think it was called Country Music Appreciation. Actually, Carrie just sent me a video, a news clip from this class this night. After finding the poop, the first person I saw was Carrie. I was venting and I told her all about it. Well, it was literally like that week or not too long after that, Carrie went and tried out for American Idol and disappeared forever, became the big star that she is today. We never saw her for a long time. Fast forward 5 years, maybe, life has changed.
Carrie's a megastar.
Megastar.
I'm working at the Oklahoma Music Hall of Fame.
Well, I think we both were working at the Oklahoma Music Hall of Fame. Carrie got inducted to the Oklahoma Music Hall of Fame, and she came to perform in Muskogee, Oklahoma, our hometown.
I'm working this event. She's getting ready, and she kind of recognized me. And the last time she seen me, I was probably an 8th grader.
Mm-hmm.
And she's got a whole team around her, and she's like, I know you. I was like, she remembers.
He was really pumped that she remembered.
That followed with, hey, I remember you. You're the guy that pooped in a sack and left it in your brother's truck. Do what?
It's the first thing she said to my brother when she saw him years later.
Years later, that stuck with her.
Fast forward another probably 10 years, we went and did The Voice. We ended up on the same record label for a while. I'll never forget, it was probably one of the first nights we were on her storyteller tour. This story got brought up again, so storyteller indeed.